The Danley came into sight again, crawling now, and Holt saw that he was very old. The way he fumbled made it clear that he was quite blind, and yet his eyes looked good enough. Then Holt began to watch the others, and finally to follow them. Many went out through the doorways, and they did indeed walk off into the landscapes beyond. And the landscapes, he watched the Elish worlds in all their weary splendor, as the Ul Menelaith glided to their worships. He saw the starless night of Dark Dawn high atop the fringe, and the darkling dreamers wandering beneath, and Hul the Golden, real after all, though less than he expected, and the ghost ships flitting out from the core, and the screeches of the black worlds in the far arm, and the ancient races that had locked their stars in spheres, and 1,000 worlds undreamed of. Soon he stopped following the quiet travelers and began to wander on his own, and then he found that the views beyond the doors could change. As he stood before a square gate that opened on the plains of Emerald, he thought for a moment of old Cain, who had indeed shipped a long ways, but not quite far enough. The Emerelli towers were before him, and Holt wished to see them closer, and suddenly the doorway opened onto one. Then the shed boss was at his elbow, materializing as abruptly as ever in the shed, and Holt glanced over into the faceless face. Then he put away the laser and removed his helmet. It had ceased to glow, oddly. Why hadn't he noticed that? And stepped forward. He was on a balcony, cold wind stroking his face, black emerald metal behind, and an orange sunset before him. Across the horizon the other towers stood, and Holt knew that each was a city of 1,000,000, but from here they were only tall, dark needles. A world. Cain's world. Yet it would have changed a lot since Cain had last seen it, some 200 years ago. He wondered how. No matter, he would soon find out. As he turned to go inside, he promised himself that he would go back, to find Sunderland and Eleni and Takaray. For them, perhaps, it would all be darkness and fear below, but Holt could guide them home. Yes, he would do that, but not right now. He wanted to see Emerald first, and old Earth, and the altered men of Prometheus, yes. But later he would go back. Later. In a little bit. Time moved slowly in the stone city, more slowly down below where the webs of space-time were knotted by the builders. But still it moves, inexorably. The great grey buildings are all tumbled now, the mushroom tower fallen, the pyramids blown dust. Of the Elish wind walls, not a trace remains, and no ship has landed for millennia. The Ul Menelaith grow few and strangely diffident, and walk with armored hoppers at their heels. The Danley have disintegrated into violent anarchy after 1,000 years of gunships. The Kresh are gone, the Linkolas are enslaved, and the ghost ships still keep silent. Outwards, the Damoosh are a dying race, though the wisdom pools live on and ponder, waiting for questions that no longer come. New races walk on tired worlds. Old ones grow and change. No man has reached the core. The cross-world sun grows dim. In empty tunnels beneath the ruins, Holt walks from star to star.